So now if you see here, so now this is the class name, and then it was trying to implement these particular interfaces. Now, what it was trying to do is, now this particular interface have only one method. So that method we wanted to implement. Which is that method? Retry is a method. So now this is an interface. Now this method need to be implemented. So here we are taking the object of this particular ITest result, and with that particular result, first we are looking at what is a counter, and then retry for that maximum times. Now what is the counter here? Is 0. How many times the retry it need to it need to retry? For
3 times.
If I am giving it here 100 times, it will retry for the 100 times. Now the counter would be incremented, the plus counter would be incremented, and then return true. If at all this condition is failed, means when the condition will fail, so when this is 3, 0 less than
Less than 3.
Less than 3. No, then this condition is true, right? Always it would be true, right?
No, counter value is
Counter value increments.
Sorry. Yeah. Here the counter value is increasing, right? Yeah. So now here it is coming as 3, and here it would be 3. So 3 less than 3, it will be not matched, right? So now first it is 0, 1, 2, 3. So now 3 greater than 3 or 3 less than 3. So now when we have this one, so the condition fails, and then it will false, and then the retry will be stopped. Now what is this particular retry actually? So now retry is nothing but the name itself. It was saying that retrying. When it will be retrying, so now here we will be taking the result. If the result is pass, will it try? No. So if the result is fail, then it will try to do the retry. So now why we need to do this one is, in industry, in this particular QA industry, if you are executed 100%, 100 test cases, every execution it will come like 95, 96, 98, 94, 96. Like this it will pass. If I made the 5 iterations, 100 out of 100, it will never pass. Always there will be a failure percentage of 5, approximately 5%. This is called test flakiness. Flakiness. What do you mean by flakiness? Means accurately it will not happen. Every time it will means spikes up and spikes down. So the test may pass or may not be passed. So that is the reason. So this is called as test flakiness. Now, when the particular, for an example, when I have executed this 100 test cases, actually speaking, that 5 test cases don't have any issues. If I execute this particular test cases individually, this will work fine. But because of some network issue, environmental issue, whatever the reason or factor, these 5 test cases are getting failed. So now to re-execute this particular 5 test cases, we will be using the Retry Analyzer. So this is a real-time requirement why we need to reuse the retries. So now what this particular 100 test cases, out of 100, 95 test cases will execute at the first attempt itself. Now the 5 test cases are there, right? It will go for the retry. Now a particular test case is failed. Now what it will try to do? It will retry. Now also failed. What it will do? Once again it will retry. Here we given 3, right? It will retry. Third time also we have been executed. It failed. Then what it will do?
It will stop and record the failure.
They will consider
it will stop and then it will record as a failure. That's it. So this is how this particular retry analyzer would, or retry option would be worked out. If for any other reason, actually we will not keep in these executions 3 times. We will keep only 1 time. Maximum 1 time we will retry. Even if failed for the next time, then we will stop it. If it is passed, then we'll leave it and then we'll go away. Why we will not give more number of retries? Any guess?
Fine, you too.
Excellent. the answer is the time, because it requires a lot of time, which you don't really require to do it. So, for an example, for execution of one test case, if it is taking 10 minutes, now the same test case I need to execute for 3 times. It takes 30 minutes to 40 minutes, which it is hampering for other test executions. Only you need to execute it for once and see if it is working fine or not. Or if it is not working, then it need to be stopped. That's it. So this is the working of retry options. Now, how we can call this particular retries? Retries can be called in 2 ways.
The class level.
Class and
Same
Class
at
level
the
and
class level, and then at the XML file level.
XML.
So now the class level, scroll down.
I have given this here, sir. This thing.
Okay. So if you see here, sorry. If you see here, @test is attribute, and retry analyzer. Retry analyzer is an attribute. These are the attributes, and this is the value. Now, whatever the class name which we have been given, that class name here, and this is the attribute. You've seen it for the data providers and all other stuff, right? Same way here, we'll be having the retry analyzer, and for the retry analyzer, you'll be having this. So that's how this is an annotation, this is an attribute, and this is attribute value. So this is how for every method you can bring up the retry analyzer. But you assume that there are 1,000 methods in your test case or suite. In these 1,000 test cases in the suite, you will go for each and every test case you mentioned here. That would be not fairly possible. So now what we need to do is, we need to implement that from the XML file. And you remember that listeners are implemented at the class level, and these are implemented at a method level. Okay. And what we wanted to do is, we'll go to the XML file. In the XML file, go. If you see here, we'll be using the retry annotators with listeners tag. Listeners can be called from the listeners tag, and even the retry is also called from the retry tag. So why they kept it into the retry? Because even retry is also working on the execution, because listeners will listen your executions. If it is failed, what you do is what is the listeners do, right? Even retry is also, while it is failed, what to do is what the retry also explains. So that's the reason they didn't kept a separate tag for this. With the help of listeners tag itself, we can call this particular retry transformator or retry annotation. So this is how the retries will be called across. Now, if I have here 1,000 classes, all the 1,000 classes, and for each class, hundreds of methods, this retry option would be applicable. At one shot, if you have been mentioned here, according to that, it will retry. Execute it. So if you see here, how many runs it happened? So there are 3 methods. Only 3 methods, right? So
Yes,
now 3
sir.
methods means if you need to run, 3 need to do it. But what it happened, another 2 methods are getting failed consistently. Open the console.
Yes.
Drag it up. So now if you see here, it was not able to get that particular what we say, that the logs. So but if you wanted to get the logs, if you executed it from the class, you'll be getting the detail level of logs. If you wanted the detail level of logs, what you need to do? This is one of the most important question. If we are not able to see the logs,
thread count we need to increase.
What do you mean by the count? Huh? What is that count? See, thread count is nothing but, for an example, I wanted to execute the system parallelly. There are two classes. I wanted to execute these two classes. So I'll give one thread here, one thread here. If you wanted to execute this one parallelly, then I'll give the thread count. For an example, there is a class. I have 100 methods. If I execute each method will take 1 minute. How many minutes it will take?
100 minutes.
100 minutes it will take. Now, if I execute it with the thread count 2 parallel at method, what it will try to do? It will execute parallelly with a thread count 2, right?
Yes.
How much time it will take now?
2.
50 minutes it will take.
Yeah.
100 divided by 2. 50.
Yeah.
So now this is a parallel execution, we can have it. Now you can do it with 3. Then it can complete in 33 to 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So now, but actually if you wanted to run this multiple threads, means this is the threading concept, means parallel execution would be happen things. Means for an example, we'll be doing the multitasking, right? We'll be seeing the movie, we will be chatting, we'll be talking, we will be chatting, you will be walking, you will be talking. So that is what, so parallel completing 2-3 works, right? Now the same way, the execution also, it will take the parallelly all the methods and execute it at a class level, because in a class it consists of multiple methods. All those multiple methods, it can be pulled out parallelly and then it executed. Else I have class 1, class 2, it will execute these particular classes at a class level. So all these methods would be executed and all these methods will be executed parallelly. So how to implement that one? Everything it is controlled from the XML file. So now just go back to your project explorer. This is one. Give right click on this class.
Where, sir? Here?
Come to TestNG. Convert. See, to generate that XML file, this is the easiest way of doing it, right? Now you will see here, it will asking as parallel mode. Click this. If you given the parallel mode, is this, you need to do parallelly the methods, classes, or tests. So now this is what the test, right? You wanted to run parallel tests, parallel classes, parallel methods. You can select parallel methods and here click it. With how many threads you wanted to run? I wanted to run with 2 threads or 3 threads. But if you want giving more number of threads, what is the problem is your CPU will be die. Your processors, it requires a lot of processors, so that it would be get die. So now what you can do is you can keep 1 or 2 is max. You can give 2 here. Give 2.
Yes, sir.
So now you see here by default you can see it, right? The thread count is 2. The parallelly you need to execute the methods for this particular class. So this is how this particular XML file will be executed. And when you started executing it, it will be generated with that one. But actually speaking, my question is different. Hey, how I wanted to see the detail level of logs. See, now this is for the parallel execution, whichever I told you now. Did you got what do you mean by parallel execution? Any doubts? Now, I wanted to have a detailed level of logs. Then the most important thing here is verbose. Verbose will be having different levels from 1 to 10. 1 is least, 10 is max in detailed level of logs. So where I need to add is go to your suit and suit level, give your verbose equal to 10. So that you'll be getting it. Not here. Close it. Go to your XML file where you are executing this.
Cancel this one, sir.
Cancel this one. I just wanted to show you how the parallel execution will be giving it. Go to the Retry XML. XML file.
Okay.
Go to open that.
Oh, okay.
So now here you go here. Here you give your verbose. Give space. Here. No. Inside this brace, inside that one.
Inside. Okay.
Space. Verbose equal to 1. Just keep that verbose in TestNG XML file in Google. Spelling mistake or something we have been done. Or just to go to Google, verbose 1. Verbose in TestNG file. You're not able to see your screen.
Okay, sir.
So verbose is one of the most important factors. So that particular verbose, if you given level 1, level 2, level 3, so now you'll be getting that detailed level of logs. So that is the reason you need to understand that, hey, if I wanted to have the detailed level of logs so that I can understand. See, now here you're not able to understand your logs. If you wanted to get the logs, then you need to add that particular verbose. Are you sharing that?
Yes, verbose TestNG, right, sir?
Yes.
So, is it visible now?
Yes.
Actually,
One should be given in inverted commas.
Inverted.
One
Verbose
has
is
been.
equal to one should in inverted comma should be given.
Yes.
One.
Go back to your code.
okay.
So that's a strings, right? I think we have been passed with an integer. That is a problem. See, now all the values here, it's a strings.
Do I have to give like this, sir?
Yes. Now you execute the program. Open the console. Drag the console to up. Okay. Now what you do? Now go back to XML file.
Sir, when we are giving verbose equals to 1, is it same as the default when we are not giving it?
That is what you're saying, right? But still, just you can scroll down. That's the default values you're getting. Now give the verbose as 5. Execute it. Now you go to the, you just see the console. You're getting the logs. You've seen it, right?
Yes, sir.
So now you can give the verbose levels at 10. Each level, what it will display, there is a theory for it, but it is not really required. No one will relate it. The people wanted the detail level of verbose, the logs, then they will give 10. If it is a medium level of logs, they will give 5. Okay, and they don't want the logs, then they will give 1. That would be the default. Now you execute it. I think it will get a lot of details here from the things. Go to the top now. Each and every step you will get that logs. Go to the top. Now open only the console. See here you can see the detailed level of information. See, now it invoked methods. What are it invoked? First method, second method, third method. First method passed. Now second method failed because it expected true, it found false. So now if you see here from this particular class file, line number 29, it has been failed. So now you can see that the stack tracks, error stack trace. This is what in your exceptions when you're discussing it. So you will be having this detailed level of error stack trace. So if you click on this,
Where, sir?
click on this.
Okay.
So if you see, click on this, it will take you to the line where you got the error. So that is what the best advantages of here. So now in your class file, where exactly in which line it was get failed, we'll be knowing it. Then what you will do? Then what you'll do? Keep a debugger point and then before line and then start debugging it. So this is how we identify the issue and then which line you got the problem. And from that before lines or 5 to 6 lines, you keep the debugger pointer and start executing it. That is how you do the debugging. Open the console. So now if you see here, so this is the second method failed because of here. So this is the line number it was failed. And these all related assertions class file, it has been means it is not accepted. So that information it will show. Scroll down now. So now this is a third test. Third test, hold on. Third test, it expected true, it failed. Now this is line number 35. The previous error is at 29 and now this is at 35. This also failed, so that you have this complete stack trace over here. Now scroll down. Sorry, guys. Just go to the top. So you seen it, right? The first three, the second one is failed, third one is failed. Then what it will start to happen? Just after third, just come after third.
Yes.
Now, where is the after third?
This one.
So now this is second method, third test case is failed. Now if you see here, it is failed. Okay, now what it will happen? So once it executed all your test cases, okay, your first it executed first test case, it is passed. Second, you executed second test case, failed. Third, you executed third test case, failed. Now it allowed you to execute this. Then it tried your third test case. See, retried third. Come down. It retried second. See, now this is the first retry. So now first retry done. Now once again it started with second retry, third retry. Scroll down. So this is how it retries that particular method. Scroll down. So now this is the third time. So now what you need to understand here is, so first TestNG will allow you to execute this one, all three. First, second, third. Then it will retry for these 2 times. Failed. Once again it retried. Second time, failed. Third time, failed. Then it will leave it. Okay. Now we will be getting this result as test result. How many runs we have been made? 3. Means how many methods are there? In this class, how many methods are there? 3. How many failed? 2. And how many times we retried?
3
times each.
6 times. 3
Past
times.
one, it was not counted. So 2 plus 6 plus 1. Overall 9 times.
9 times run.
So now if you see here, below you got that information. Total test runs.
9.
See now how many times the test run has been run? 9 times. This is pass. This is failed.
2 fails.
This is retry.
Retry 6.
So this is how the detailed level of information you'll be getting out of it. So this is what called as retries. And this is the hierarchy of the retries, how the retries will execute. This is also one of the important questions. Hey, can you tell me how the retries will happen? Once after one test case, another test case will be executed, or after the execution of your test cases, this particular test cases would be executed. And how your total runs and test runs would be there. And what is verbose? So these all are really very important questions, which it will be associated with this retries. Any questions? Okay, cool. Next jump in, we'll next jump into the assertions over here. Balakrishna, share the screen. Stop sharing. Shruti.
Yes, yes, sir.
Quickly share, Balakrishna. You there? Satya Shiva?
Sir, logging through mobile, sir, today.
Swapna? Okay. Now, all these days, we have been discussed about this one. So now we have been discussed on this, especially from the point of the retries we have been discussed. Now, let's discuss from the assertions. What do you mean by an assertion?
Comparing
It's
the
verifying
actual
the
value
Excel
and
is
expected
accepted.
value.
Oh, hold on. So you can give me one by one answer.
Comparing the expected value with the actual value.
Okay.
Asset is a class, sir.
Okay. See, asset is a class, but usually what do you mean by asset? Assertion. See.
Checks the condition whether it has been failed or a passed.
See, now whatever the answers which you people all giving, it is right. So there is no doubt about it. So assertion is comparison between the actual value and
and
the expected value, or you can say that so verifying the two values. So that is what the assertion is. So now we can give any decision, means any definition. So now if you see here, what it was trying to do is, it is trying to assert the values, means what is your output value, and then what is your what is your expected value, and then what is your actual value. You are trying to verify that particular values. Okay, so that is called assertion. We are checking whether, hey, whether you got the right output or not. So that is what you are trying to assert. Okay, in TestNG, how many types of assertions are there?
Two
Two
types.
types.
So we have two types of assertions are there, which is hard
Hard
assertion
and
and
soft
soft
assertion.
Assertion.
Now, first of all, let's see what you meant by hard assertion, and then we will come back to the soft assertion also. Okay, first align your code, Control A, Control Shift F. Okay, so now this is what your first we have been implemented with the hard assertion. Now, when you use hard assertion have a class called asset. So this is what we are getting it. Now you open this one packages. In these particular packages, you can see this particular TestNG asset. Now, where is this particular class located? In org TestNG package. So now just collapse all on this Explorer, Project Explorer. Control Shift / from the numlock. Control Shift / from the numlock. Shortcut key to collapse all your tree. Okay. What you can do is, now here click on, click on here, on the editor you click on it, and click on it, and then you click this button. Click this button. This while it is going on. So click on this particular control, click on this. Control click. Go to this particular class. or you can click on this also, anything. So you wanted to go to this asset class, control click. So now you reach to this particular class, right? Now you wanted to see all the methods. What is the shortcut key? Control O.
Oh,
So if you click Control O, you will be seeing all the methods which it is there in this particular thing. Now you see what are the methods it is there? Asset true. Now here we have with the same name two methods. What is this?
Method overloading.
Method overloading. Control O. If you see here, now we have asset true, but here we have two parameters, here we have one parameter. Asset false, fail, asset equal to, R equal. See, now you just hover on that method, just hover on method. Hold on, hover and hold on. It should show you the docs. I think your Java docs is not properly used in your information. Okay, just you click on that asset fall, click on this one. Any method you can click on it. So now if you see here, the implementations, you can see it over here. Now they will be giving you the clear description what they are trying to do on this. You can get it. So asset class consists of all these particular methods. Now let's go back to your code and see how you have been implemented this. So now in this particular assertion, so if you see here, now you're trying to asset dot, you can go and keep the dot here after asset. You can see all those methods are coming over here. How we are calling all these methods with the class name? Hello, I'm asking you that how you're calling all your methods with your class name. What is this method?
Using object. Using the object.
You guys are really missing the basics. You're calling your methods with your class name. What is those type of methods?
Constructor.
Before answering, understand the question. You're calling your method names with your class names directly. What type of methods are those?
Static method.
Static methods, that's it. That's the reason you click dot here after asset. See, now every method is having that yes on top of this one.
static.
So these all methods are the static methods. So because the asset class consists of all static methods, you will not create an object for it. Directly you are calling all your methods here. But whereas your soft asset having all non-static methods, that's the reason you're creating object. Did you understand for hard asset why we are not creating an object? For a soft asset, why we are creating an object? So
Yes, sir.
in asset class, I have all static methods are there. So that's the reason I'm calling directly with the class name dot this particular method name. And soft asset having all non-static methods or non-static members, that's the reason I'm creating an object. Okay, so now what is the difference between a hard asset versus soft asset? This is one of the most important question when we talk about the TestNG assertions. If anyone talks, so this would be the first question that people would be asking you. Hey, can you tell me what is the basic difference between a hard asset and soft asset?
In hard assertion, if assertion fails, it will come out of the test case and the test case fails. But in soft assertion, if assertion fails, it will record that particular assertion and go for the next assertion and continue for the execution, and the test case will get passed.
Awesome. That's the right answer. So here, see the name itself, it was saying that hard assertion. hard assertion means now here you can see it. Now what you are trying to see now, these are self-explanatory method names. Now for an example, asset equal to what we are trying to equal, A equal to B, we are trying to compare. So string A, string B, this would be always false. Now, if for an example, I have this 10 lines, now here we are asserting true. We are just asking, is it true? You will say true. Yeah. So then it is true. If you given false, this statement will fail here. So now as it is assert true, okay, you are doing it as true. Now then you are comparing, hey, this value is equal to this value. Is it equal to or not? 20 equal to 20. Yes, this is also true. Then this is passed. Then this asset equal to true. This is true. Yeah, true. This is also passed. Now still here it is executed. Now we are asserting A equal to B. This is true. No, this is failed. So now the execution will stop here and it will fail here and it will come out of this particular test. These two statements will not be executed. So this is what the hard assertion. But whereas soft assertion, now what we will try to do for the soft assertion is, this is the class name. Go to the top line. Go to the top line. This is the soft asset. This is the soft asset class, and soft asset class. And what is this? What is this?
Constructor.
And it allocates a space for this particular soft asset. So that's the reason I asked you to keep obj. If you follow the asset means standards, it will be very clear. So obj means you need to mention that obj soft asset. So now once we have this obj soft asset, now with this method, now you can come down. So if you come here now with this particular objects, okay, I'm calling this asset not equal to, and then asset equals to, asset true, and like this is what we will be doing it. Even though this statement is false, it will continue with the next. And the most important thing which you need to do it in the soft asset is, you will be creating the object, and the most important thing is object asset all. If you don't keep this particular statement, it will not collect all your assertions and print that. Remember, when you use soft asset, make sure that you should keep this particular line, asset all. If you don't keep this one, it will not collect all your assertions and it will not print in your console. So that is what the most important thing which you need to remember. So asset, what it will do is, if you see here in this statement, this is true. This is passed. Now x equal to 10, y equal to 5. Now difference is x minus 5. How much is that? 5. Now you are comparing 7 and 5. Is it equal? Asset not equal to. Even this is also true, right? 7 and difference is not equal to 2. This is true. Now this is true. This is true. And when it comes to here, 4 comma diff. The diff is 5, but here it is 4. Now 4 equal to 5. No, this fails. Then asset true. This is true. Now, if you see here, this is true, true. Sorry, this is passed, passed, fail, pass. Now this will all asset, and it will go to the next statement. This also prints this, and then it will asset all, and then it will print all. So this is how this particular printing would be happen. So you need to, one second, guys. Gayatri, I'll call you, Amma. I'm in a training session. Okay. So now if you see here, now when it comes to here, it will asset all the values and then it will start printing. So this is the difference between the hard asset and soft asset. So hard asset, if something is failed, it will stop the execution there. For example, now it failed here, right? It stopped the execution here, logs the error message. Okay, step number 1, stop the execution, come out from the test case and logs the error messages in the console. And it will proceed further with the next test case. Stop the execution, come out from the test case, log the error, go to the next test case. These are the 4 steps it will do. But whereas soft assertion, it will, even though if it is failed, it captures, proceed with the further steps, complete all the steps of the test case, and then at last print them all in the console, and then come out and then go for the next test case. This is what the basic difference between a hard asset and a soft asset. Okay, now what is the benefit of this? Or what is a real-time use case for this one? In the real time, all my test cases, for an example now, you need to take a decision that, boss, where I need to use the hard assertion and where I need to use the soft assertion. You need to have that, right? Example,
Login.
I'm using the username and password and click the login button. I didn't went to the home page. I'm validating the welcome to Chris in the home page. This text is not matched and failed. Now, which assertion I need to use? Soft assertion or hard assertion? Why?
Hard assertion.
Why?
Login itself
No need to proceed further. If
That's it.
login
See, now, if this steps itself it is failed, means you're not able to log in at all, then what else you will be doing there? There is no point of going for, see now, if even after the login failed, then you're trying to validate a composed mail. Is it really required to do the soft assertion?
No.
Only hard assertions.
Or the hard assertions.
See, 90% of your test cases you'll be using the hard assertions only.
Hard assertions.
The 10% only we'll be keeping it for soft assertion. So now for an example, there is a page. In this page, I have 100 links. 100 links. I need to validate all the links are present in this page or not. Now, which assertion I'll be using it?
Soft assertion.
Because I'll first come and check this object is there. Yes, yes,
Yes.
no, 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 yes, 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 no. See, now, because for every time I shouldn't fail, means run this test cases. See, now, if I fix this, once again, there is an error here. If I use a hard assertion, it fails here and it will stop.
Stop.
Next time it fails here and stop. Next time it fails and stops. Next time fails and stop. So here I shouldn't use the hard assertion. See, when I was validating a bunch of things in the same page without having any issues, then I will be using the soft assets. But in the navigation, in a flow, because unless I logged in, I go to the home page and I need to go for that particular inbox. If I don't click that and don't do that, then what's the point of doing this? Even though if the login itself it was failed, then there is what the point of proceeding further with the test case? All steps will fail, right? That's the reason you shouldn't use the soft assertions in terms of these workflows. Workflows will be using only the hard assertions and the soft assertions. Guys, you should be really smart enough where to use hard assertions and where to use the soft assertions. So that's how the assertions are designed in the TestNG system. And you should know about these particular methods. See, asset not equal to means we are asserting that these two values are not equal to. And asset equal to. These two values should be equal to. Asset true means it should be true. It means asset false, it should be false. The output should be false. Means for an example, there is a Boolean value. I'm making sure that this should be false or this should be fail. So that is what we are trying to do it. So that is how we will be trying to do on this one. So these all methods are self-explanatory. That's the reason I'm not spending too much of time. And you can go to the asset class and see it. And you can go to the soft asset class and then you can see it, what all the methods are there. Just click it and go and Control O. You can see all the methods in asset and then soft asset, and you can use those particular methods on this. And these are all things are inbuilt. See, you don't need to see now. If you wanted to compare this one, what you need to do? If you don't have this direct method, What do you need to do? If you don't have this direct method, asset not equal to method is there. If you don't have this method, how I can validate these two values are not equal? Huh? What is this, guys? I'll be using that. I'll write an if condition, and I'm saying that value def is equal to this particular 7, equal to 7. Then I'll say that I'll print this one. So it is not equal to means then what I wanted to see it is I wanted to see it is not equal to. So I'll check this. If it is equal to, then I'll say that boss, this value is equal. And else part, I'll say that this is not equal. So now I need to write 5 to 6 lines of code here. But here I don't need to do it, or else I can implement it in a different way. Diff not equal to 7. So this is means it returns me the Boolean value. I use a ternary operator. See, there are multiple ways to do the implementation, but TestNG provided all you the wrapper functions. Just you create this class, and then you can get that class and then do it. Go to this particular class, this method, uncomment the line, control click. See, asset not equal to. They have been written all the code for us. They have been written multiple codes into it. So you don't need to worry about it. So just you need to reuse these particular methods and then try to use them. So this is how all these particular methods are designed as part of TestNG, and then it has been done. So this is really, really important. See, now today, what are the things we have been touched is assertions, which is hard asset and soft asset. What is hard asset, soft asset? What is the difference between hard asset and soft asset? And then where to use hard asset and where to use soft asset. And also we have been discussed about the retry analyzer. So in the retry analyzer, we discussed what is retry analyzer or retries, how the code works, and then how this particular retries can be called into the system, and then how we can execute and how the retries works. We have been discussed, and then we have been discussed about the results in console. And then if you wanted to see that detail level of logs, how we need to do it with the help of verbose, or how we wanted to execute them parallelly. So we have been seeing it from the XML files. Always you remember that TestNG completely depends upon that particular XML file, and then it will be going ahead. So that's the most important thing which you need to understand. And you need to go through the interfaces, iTest listener, retry annotator, and then annotations, and iTest result, iTest listeners. So these are all the important interfaces which you need to remember. Go through that particular documentations and come back. And tomorrow we are going to start with the Maven. So Maven is one of the most important thing. So almost we have been done with all the topics from the TestNG. Go through back. So I told you, right, all annotations, attributes, data providers, and listeners, and then retries and assertions, and these interfaces. These are the important topics of TestNG. I think we have been spent a very good amount of time on this, and we have been implemented all. Go back, implement, and